We have a few things in common. One thing is that I'm addicted to reading history, and my wife loves fiction, and she's always trying to get me to read fiction as if eating my vegetables.
Right.
Eat your vegetables. And I just have this burning desire to know what happened.
Yeah.
And if she's reading this wonderful, powerful novel, I'm like, yeah, but what happened? That's just made up. And so she has wonderful photos of me when we've gone on vacations over our long marriage on different beaches and in different beautiful settings, reading the most turgid, dark books about, the gulag.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sitting there with like a rum punch next to me.
Oh my God.
But she could be reading, Schultz-Neeson.
No, she's very well read, and she's always reading, she's reading great stuff, and she has convinced me. She's
No.
gotten me to read.
There is as much drama in what was and what is as anything the human imagination makes up.
Yep.
But it's not a choice, because you're going to lose Shakespeare if you're not going to let people make stuff up, right? You're going to lose a lot of wonderful insight that comes from whatever the license is that people take to sort of focus on our interior lives and why we're here and what we're supposed to be doing and making of it.
Yeah. I have to say, even one of my, probably my favorite book is a historical novel, The Killer Angels. Which is...
That's what got me to do the Civil War. I finished reading that.
Is that true?
Let me tell you this. David McCullough gave it to me. I finished reading it on Christmas Day, 1984. I was visiting my dad in Michigan. And I said, I know what I'm going to do for my next film. And he said, what's that, son? And I said, the Civil War. And he goes, what part? And I said, all of it. And he just shook his head and walked out of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was because the Civil War had been looming over all the subjects of the film I'd made in really bizarre ways, on the Brooklyn Bridge, on the Shakers, on the Statue of Liberty, on the Congress, on Thomas Hart Benton, on all the stuff, Huey Long, all of the stuff I had done.
Mm-hmm.
Or were doing, and that I just couldn't figure out that this seemed to be, as Shelby Foote once said, American history is this clear river that flows into a bloody lake that flows out clear again. Not true, but the idea that everything has to pass through the Civil War was important to it. So, yeah, Killer Angels. Have you read The Raven by Marcus James?
I have not. No.
Very antiquated book. 1920s. He won the Pulitzer Prize, I think, for this or another one. He did a biography first on Andrew Jackson, but then he did one that The Raven is on Sam Houston. And there is so much that happens to Sam Houston before he's even heard of the word Texas. He is this close to the presidency. He's sort of holding the governorship while Andrew Jackson is at president. He's going to be the next president for sure. He marries this young girl, his wife, and at some moment she leaves him. No, we do not know to this day why she did. Something sexual, an old lover, whatever it was. He resigned the governorship. He went to what is now Memphis, swam across the Mississippi, and became big drunk, a kind of dangerous, loose cannon Indian agent across the Mississippi. And he still hasn't heard. He's had fought duels in Congress. It's just about, if somebody gave me $180 million and said you had to do a feature film, I'd do the life of Sam Houston based on the Raven.
Well, it's these. There's so many things that really happened in our history, and just in history in general, that if you wrote it as a screenplay, someone would say, "This is too much."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is, you lost me. Avatar is more believable than this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is, you got a little crazy here when he swims across the river, and you think, no, this is all
true.
And I think that's what's always attracted me so much to it. My dad was really into history, and I got into it, and I realized, it's just stories.
Yeah,
and
just stories.
Sona's
Plus
always giving me a hard time. You always make fun of me for reading so much history.
Well, you read a lot of history, but you don't read 50 Shades of Grey, for instance. I've recommended books to you, and you completely ignore me.
Have you read 50 Shades of Grey?
Haven't.
Okay, this is your next. This is your next documentary, Ken.
I did the blue and the gray, but
No. It's like the blue and the gray, but a little different.
Bluer.
Well,
It's bluer.
Imagine the Civil War with spanking.
Yeah.